Thanks for watching Thursday Debate with Taghreed Hussein here on Nile TV International. Well, tonight we'll be talking more concerning the field of tourism and also talking GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum, Egypt's gift to the whole world. Nile TV International has produced a documentary entitled Dream is Loading. And the dream is currently loading and the final touches are about to be there, and the whole world is awaiting the inauguration of GEM. Talking GEM and talking also more about the Egyptian tourism and also some of the virtual tours of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo that has been led by one of our renowned and most distinctive tour guides in Egypt. An international tour guide himself, Mr. Battoty, has been actually marketing the name of Egypt to the whole world through meetings and also in collaboration with different entities and international organizations. He's my guest tonight. I thank you very much, Mr. Waleed al-Battoty, who is the counselor to the Minister of Tourism.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, and together we'll be reading more touristic headlines, and we'll be starting with GEM. GEM is one of the largest museums in the world dedicated to one civilization, and the whole world awaits the scheduled opening of GEM this year. Well, the work has never stopped as all strive to complete this great work, which is the dream of every lover of the Egyptian civilization and the heritage of Egyptians. Tonight we'll be shedding more light on the huge archaeological project that is considered to be unparalleled and, as I said, Egypt's a gift to the whole world. Talking Egypt's gift to the whole world, Mr. Battoty, many people cannot wait, and you yourself even know quite better than me when you have lots of friends all over the world and asking about bookings concerning GEM opening.
May I compliment you first on using the term, the dream is loading? That's beautiful. I love the word, the dream is loading, because it is. I mean, yes, you're right. People were expecting the Grand Museum to be open on the inauguration was supposed to happen October 10/10/2020.
Yes.
But apparently there is an international event all over the world, COVID-19, which is, again, pushing everyone. People can't wait. There is people, they keep writing and they say, okay, can't we come and just peek? I mean, they want to come and they want to pay anything just to peek, just to come. You know, the management of the Grand Museum with the advisory of His Excellency, the Minister of Antiquity at the time, they have opened, Dr. Khalid Al-Anani, he opened the museum. He did not open the museum, he opened the labs, and it's called Behind the Scene. And people used to go to the labs and see the restoration. It's like an intensive care in a hospital. And you cannot imagine how much this added to the love of Grand Museum and how people want to come. And everyone went there. I mean, I've been there with a lot of people, and everyone been there. They said, we want to be there the first week. You know, they know that maybe day one, day two, they will not be able to come, but they can't wait. So they all said, we're going to come to Egypt, we're going to wait till we have the first ticket, the second, whatever. People wants to come. Now, I know that you are very privileged and you've done a lot of very interesting documentary from inside the Grand Museum, which is a lot of people cannot do that. So thanks to you for promoting Egypt the right way, because all of these things, when it comes out, it gives a positive vibe. Now we're talking of vibes. Sometimes people used to say a positive energy. Now we move from energy to vibes. People are waiting. People, they keep asking. You cannot imagine the number of texts and emails and phone calls and everything that we receive regarding this issue. Plus, there has been something was supposed to happen. It's been postponed a little bit, which is the parade of the mummies, the royal mummies. They were supposed to move from the Cairo Museum in Tahrir to the new museum, the Civilization Museum. Now, outside the new Civilization Museum, There is such a beautiful bridge that connects people to the highway and to the Nile. The connections and the easy movement and all of this. And it's happening when the whole world cannot go to the supermarket without a permission. You have to apply for a permission to go either supermarket or a pharmacy. This is the only outing. Plus, in some countries, you can apply for a jogging, 1 hour jogging. And at the same time, you're opening museums, you're planning, you're doing this. Everybody, yes, you're right. The Grand Egyptian Museum is Egypt's gift to the world. It's Egypt's gift to culture, to humanity. It's going to be one big thing. I represent the World Federation Tourist Guide Association in the Middle East, and you cannot imagine on a personal level, whenever we have meetings every now and then on a webinar, and the first question everybody's asking, when? When can we come? How can we book? How much is going to be the ticket? People asking the price of the ticket, what can we do? How many hours do you think it's going to take? Is it a full day? Is it 2 days? Is it 3 days? Because when you see it from outside and you see the pictures, you cannot imagine how big it is. Plus we're going to see the complete collection of King Tut all again under one roof.
Yeah, I'll ask you more concerning King Tut and the secrets. Why the boy king, up to the present moment, continues to amaze the whole world. King Tut has a special charisma and a special status, not only for us as Egyptians, but for the whole world, and the heritage, the Egyptian heritage and culture. You have King Tut in a special status and a special place. The boy king, after all those years, is still making headlines. First, let me tell you more about The Dream is Loading. It has been always a dream to have GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum, and to shoot inside and to see the golden coffin of the king, and to also follow up on the restoration work. This is a story that Nile TV International narrates with pride. Dream is Loading, narrated by my colleague Hani Saif and my humble self, and script and directed by Ahmed Abdel Alim. Let's watch.
I am Ramses II. I am the great son of Egypt. I'm the king of the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the highest, the strongest, the richest, and the greatest nation on the face of the earth.
The legendary king Ramses II welcomes the whole world in the Grand Foyer.
A new record was set for the Guinness Book of World Records by forming the mask of King Tutankhamun using 7,260 coffee cups made of mosaic.
The first ever hanging obelisk worldwide, it shall enter the Guinness Book of World Records after the inauguration ceremony.
Did you know you could see the pyramids from the hall of Tutankhamun?
The Grand Egyptian Museum houses 100,000 pieces of antiquity from different historic periods.
The virtual reality high-tech feature links the antiquities to the places where they were originally discovered.
Moments of glory and pride.
These are historic moments.
It's Egypt's gift to the world at large.
Dream is Loading, soon on Nile TV International.
Yes, it's Egypt's gift to the whole world, and the Nile TV International gift as a production to the whole world as well, and to international media, to see the beauty and the greatness of our beloved country, Egypt.
Even though I've been there hundreds of times, I am teased with this little promo, especially that you have the chance to film the obelisk.
Yes.
You know, you've seen that it's not on ground, and you've been inside. The promo is beautiful. It's very nice. I loved it. It's done well, excellent. So
Thank you.
I hope we can be able to, and I urge everyone who's watching this show to, if it's available on YouTube, that
Yes.
we all can load it and send it to
And
our
share it.
friends and share and everything, because it is very nice, and I'm sure it's going to help on, again, as we always say, teaser. It increase the love amount of that people wants to come and visit this country. Back again to what I was saying. Recently, we were doing a webinar with the World Federation, and I believe they started with China. So I visited China while, this is thanks to the modern technology, I visited China while I was home, and then we went to Taj Mahal, and we went to Rome, and we went to Jordan, and we went to Machu Picchu, different parts of the world, and then finally the icing over the cake, we did Egypt when we did the pyramids of Giza. As you see, Jim will be presenting from the Grand Hall of Tutankhamun. You'll be able to see the Great Pyramid of Giza, the only remaining wonder of the ancient 7 wonders of the world. I emphasize all the time that that is the only remaining wonder of the ancient 7 wonders of the world, even though that Egypt used to have 2 of them, the Lighthouse of Alexandria and the Great Pyramid of Khufu. Now, the question is that it? No. What have we done in the past 2 years? The Ministry of Antiquity in Egypt and the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquity now, they've been working extra, and there's a lot of fines. We know, and Nile TV International, we're there in October and in November in Saqqara, and then again you went one more time in January for the great discoveries that it's happening there. Now, every day there's new discoveries. I know, I was reading a few days ago about also a new discovery that is going to rock the world. It's in Luxor.
Yeah.
The Minister of Tourism and Antiquity was recently in Armenia announcing one of the oldest brewery of the world for beer. Lots of things. So now when the tourism gets back and the world go back again to normal, Egypt will not be limited on the 1-week trip or the 10 days. You're probably going to need either 2 weeks or 20 days minimum, with all the new things and all the facilities and everything. As you can see just in front of the building over here, they're building a beautiful promenade. I'm sure they'll be done. The other day I was watching, a couple of days ago, I was watching somebody is with the Ministry of Transportation. They were showing with a drone, they're showing the new monorail that it's going to be in Egypt as well, which will facilitate to tourism. Tourists can move from one spot from
to
A
the
to B.
other.
Yes, all of these things add. Plus, again, sometimes people, they ask, I was the other day again on a webinar, international, and then I said, but I'm going to the club because I go, and the people says, sorry, hold a second, club? What do you mean by club? I said, I'll go to the sports club because I go jogging and then I go swimming. And then they said, are you trying to tell us that you guys can go out? Egypt is an open country. People can go out, we live normal. Our life is almost back to normal except for the mask. So all of this is in our side, is positive. Plus that people, when they start following Egypt's news, they found that every day there is a new inauguration of a new city, roads, factories, and everything.
Yes.
So this country is
moving, and
moving.
there is a reflection definitely also of security and stability and a sense of development. From the times of kings and queens, why is King Tut that attractive in your opinion? The boy king is always making headlines, and for Jem it is quite very catchy because we're going to see for the first time the boy king collection in one place. Complete.
Yes. King Tut was discovered on the 4th of November 1922, and it has a long story behind it. Lord Carnarvon, he did the finance. Howard Carter is the one who's doing the dig. Complete collection. It came out. It's very impressive. forget about the antechamber. You know, you go down the steps and then you find yourself in a room that is called the antechamber, where they found the 3 funeral beds and most of his objects. And towards the end, on the right-hand side, there was 2 life-size statues of King Tut, or presenting King Tut, made out of wood and coated with a layer of gold. They were standing facing each other as if they are guards to something very important behind. When they knocked down this wall and they took it down, they found a shrine made out of wood and coated with a layer of gold, with the size of the room and even bigger than the entrance. So thank God, they did not speed up on trying to open it. They worked slowly to think, how did this huge big sarcophagus came through this small opening? So they discovered that it was built inside, one inside the other. So they've opened and dismantled the first one. They've dismantled the first one. They found the second. They dismantled the second. They found the third. They dismantled the third. They found the fourth. Imagine how this is happening. Till they found the sarcophagus. They opened the sarcophagus. They found coffin 1. And they opened coffin 1. They found coffin 2. They opened coffin 2. They found coffin 3. They opened coffin 3.
Unparalleled.
They found the mummy with the golden mask and everything untouched. Okay? Again, this is one privilege of exhibits outside the country. In the 70s, God bless his soul, President Sadat approved the travel of King Tut exhibit to the world outside. And if you remember, Steve Martin, he made a song called King Tut.
Yes.
It was a very popular song. But today, when I meet tourists, they say to me, and I'm talking people average age 50, 60, 65, sometimes 70, they say, I remember when I was young, I queued 6 hours. They queued 6 hours to see the Mask of King Tut. They stand in queue for 6 hours in Chicago. People always, it seems that the exhibit in Chicago was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
But anyway, people did queue for 6 hours to see King Tut's mask in Chicago and all over, and people still have a memory with it. And when they come over here and they stand, they recall memories of their parents, their grandparents, their uncles, those who took them when they were young to see the exhibit of King Tut. As you know, last year and the year before, King Tut traveled to the United States, to California.
Yeah.
From California, he went to Paris, and it was a great exhibit. And it was very interesting to see Dr. Zahi Hawass himself when he said, I'm very impressed. Usually, nothing impressed this gentleman at all. Yes,
yeah,
and he said,
so
I was very impressed with the presentation, even though the items were very little, not much. But that was a great Egyptian ambassador to promote, even though people who not in the business, or people don't understand marketing, or people has nothing to do with this, the people who likes to oppose anything anyway. So they started to say, no, this exhibit should have not gone there, this. Then it traveled from Paris to England. And the tickets in England were sold in London. The tickets were sold before the exhibit traveled from Paris to London, and then COVID came. This exhibit also is helping. Yesterday, somebody asked me, says, Waleed, what is your opinion about Egyptian monuments such as the Rosetta Stone being in the British Museum? I said, I'm a very optimistic person, and I try to be positive as much as possible. So I would love for this piece to come and visit with us, the original piece.
Yes.
Okay? But just think of it this way. There's not a single person that stands in front of the Rosetta Stone in the British Museum without saying to himself, one day I should go to Egypt and see the rest of this.
Yes.
I would love for Nefertiti to come. I would love to Nefertiti to come. But there's no one that goes to Berlin Museum, because that's the big thing in Berlin, and then he doesn't say this to himself. If you go to the Metropolitan, okay, one of my favorite museums in the world that I love to go there, the Metropolitan, and I always interact with people, And I kind of like give them a tour while I'm there, talking about the Egyptian with pride, of course, because you see the people standing in their eyes,
yeah.
oh, their eyes. And I've been to the museum in Warsaw, in Vienna, and give me a name of a museum around the world that doesn't have Egyptian section. And I've been to the Louvre, God knows, I don't know how many times. I've been to the British Museum, God knows, I don't know how many times. But I don't recall that I've seen anything else. Maybe it is not a good thing to say, but I go because I get so much attracted to the Egyptian, especially that I understand what I'm looking at.
Yes.
And I love the display, and I always said to myself, I wish one day we could do this. Now today, they will come from all over the world, and they will say, I'm talking about curators of museums.
Yes.
And they will say, we wish we can display, because
we can do this, something like GEM.
GEM, it is, I think, it is a civilization from where civilization has finished. I mean, we're going so advanced in everything. They did not spare effort. They've done a great job.
Obtained 3 ISO certificates in less than 60 days. The first time a museum obtains these 3 certificates at both the regional as well as the international level. So
the gentlemen and the ladies that from the Ministry of Antiquity, the ones that works in the restoration. Now museums around the world wants to have them. Because maybe they cannot send the item they have, but they need some restoration. But because of the amount of work they have done and how much they have done and they've treated, I have seen some of the items of King Tutankhamun when I went to the gym. And these guys, it's like an operation, and really, really difficult operation. One of the most very interesting thing is the jars of wine. They have jars of wine that has wine in it. When they unfolded the underwears of King Tutankhamun that was supposed to break because it's like wood, and how they've softened the tissue of the fabric in order to be soft, and then they've opened it again. And the amount of information that we've gained, the chariots, when they dismantled the chariots, when they were removing the wax from the beds, and because Howard Carter waxed everything.
Yes, to keep it intact.
To keep it intact. But in 2019 or 2020, you need to remove this in order to preserve, because it was not in good condition. Now they brought the outer coffin from Luxor, used to be in the tomb.
Yeah.
As you said earlier, everything will be on display under one roof one more time. I mean, the only thing is missing will be the tomb itself, but everything will be under one. Excuse me. This itself is a promotion, okay? Nevertheless, that
and promoting Giza as well as the tourism capital of the world. This is a very good story, by the way. Transforming Giza into the capital of the world tourism has always been an aim that all the authorities have been working to highlight and achieve.
It's happening, as you said. The dream is loading. Bear in mind that Cairo Museum, every day there is new things that it's added. They're doing great job in the maintenance, facelift. They're doing a great job. Plus, we have the Civilization Museum, out of this world. It is so beautiful. It's great. Now, they just added a new museum in Kafr Sheikh.
Yes, and in Sharm el-Sheikh as well.
And in Sharm el-Sheikh, but the one in Kafr Sheikh, I want to tell all the Egyptians in weekend, if you can go, that's a great outing.
Yes.
Maybe Sharm el-Sheikh could be difficult for people to drive in, but Kafr Sheikh, they can go and come back. It is out of this world. I know that Sohag has a museum and they're working on it and adding Armenia. Now we have museums all over the country.
All over the governorates, yeah.
Yes, it is so beautiful. I'm very proud of my country that They did not, during COVID-19, say, okay, there's COVID, let's slow down. No, they even...
They continued the developmental process and opening of museums.
And they speed up.
Life went on, yeah. Life goes on,
yes.
definitely.
Very proud.
Very proud. Life goes on, and Egypt has been working on such a plan, also talking on transforming Giza into the capital of the world tourism. And as Mr. Battoty had said, that yes, the dream is loading a production that we here at Nile TV International are really proud of. Let's watch more concerning one of the tours of the Minister of Tourism visiting GEM prior to the grand opening. Let's watch.
It's the project of the century. It has been making headlines since the announcement. This is Egypt's dream and Egypt's gift to the whole world. And under the directives of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, this great dream of Egypt comes true. And the message is, Egypt can make it. We're full of enthusiasm in order to narrate this story of success to the whole world. The Dream is Loading documentary that Nile TV International has adopted. Dream is Loading on Nile TV International.
Minister of Tourism Khaled Al-Anani toured the Grand Egyptian Museum to follow on its progress prior to the museum's opening later this year. Anani was accompanied by the project supervisor Atif Muftah, Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities Mustafa Waziri, and Assistant Minister for Archaeological Affairs in the museum Tayyib Abbas. The quartet watched archaeologists and restorers place the first King Tutankhamun's treasures into display cases and viewed the newly restored statue of King Ramses II, which sits at the museum's entrance. The statue of King Ramses II is about 8 meters high and weighs about 30 tons. Behind the statue is a back pillar inscribed with hieroglyphic text. The group also checked out the stairs within the museum and the statues of King Sonnet I. During the tour, Anani thanked everyone involved in the project, commending the cooperation between the Supreme Council of Antiquities and the museum, and praising the team's spirit and effort exerted in the process of transporting, restoring, and placing artifacts in the exhibition halls. Anani has earlier said that the Grand Egyptian Museum construction work is about 97% complete. The Grand Egyptian Museum is one of the largest museums in the world, dedicated to one civilization, and the whole world awaits its scheduled opening this year. When it opens, it will contain more than 50,000 artifacts, including the full collection of King Tutankhamun, presented altogether for the first time in history to the public. The GEM project is the focus of attention for the Egyptian government, which removes any obstacles that may affect its completion. When the museum complex opens, the world will see wonders that can only be found in this great cultural edifice. The striking museum facade was made with Egyptian materials and saved more than $180 million, costing 10% of the original estimated cost. Egypt's Grand Egyptian Museum is ensuring the safety of all employees and providing them with support when dealing with the global pandemic. A booklet has been issued by the museum entitled "We Have Never Stopped in the Face of Corona," to document all the precautionary measures that have been taken since March 2020. The work has never stopped, as all strive to complete this great institution, which is the dream of every lover of the Egyptian civilization and its heritage. GEM has obtained 3 ISO certificates in less than 60 days, the first time a museum obtains these 3 certificates at both the regional and international levels. The achievements serve as confirmation to the constant efforts of the Grand Egyptian Museum to apply all international scientific standards, such as quality, assurance, planning, performance, evaluation, as well as achieving environmental sustainability. This one-of-a-kind museum is tailor-made to preserve and exhibit Egypt's precious national heritage with state-of-the-art conservation laboratories, along with educational facilities, temporary exhibition halls, a children's museum, a conference center, restaurants, cafes, shops, and large gardens for everyone to enjoy. GEM will house over 5,000 artifacts of Egypt's most famous king, Tutankhamun, from his royal tomb, many never seen in public before.
Yes, the beautiful promo outlines Egypt's domestic tourism, and the Ministry of Tourism had a strategic plan in order to restructure the tourism sector as a whole, and raising the sense of awareness also to the importance of domestic tourism in the country. Among the series that Nile TV International had adopted is the tours throughout the different Egyptian governorates and informing the tourists more about the different governorates, not only in Sinai or Sharm el-Sheikh or Hurghada, you know, lots and lots of other places in Egypt are beautiful, like the Western Desert, like Bahariya Oasis, you know, those are another stories of charm, let me say.
It's a complete different tour. I mean, yeah. Egypt in a different identity. For those who want desert, for those who want skies, for those who want to watch the stars. I mean, for those who wants to go, and I saw the sand ski. Sand ski, I've done it. I've done it in different parts. I've done it in the Western Desert. I've done it in El Fayoum. There is different things that you can add, and that's the diversity of Egypt. It is no longer just beach. If you know, before it used to be either Sharm el-Sheikh or Hurghada. Now it's completely different. You got Marsa Alam, you got all the way to Halayb and Shalatin. I mean, we're making use of the whole coast. I mean, you won't believe the amount of people who wants to go to Sokna, and especially the expats that lives in Egypt. They're the ones who are benefiting out of this, but it's adding up and it's promoting Egypt. And in the field of tourism, there is some request that used to come to the travel companies saying that they want to go and, because after, you know, if you drive 1 hour from Cairo, you'll be swimming in the Red Sea. So there's some people who wants to go and swim in the Red Sea, especially they can see the dolphins, they can go fishing, they can go for a couple of days if they want, or just an overday. They spend the day, have lunch, and return back to their hotel in Cairo. So that's a complete add up. Bear in mind that when the new transportation between the new administration, the new capital
yes.
and Sokna through the monorail, which is fast, people will be able to do this very comfortable, and they go there and spend the day and then come back in the evening or something. So this will add up. On the contrary, on the other side, the network of highways, that it's getting better and better every day, will promote people to go to the western, to Bahariya, to Siwa, to Dakhla, Farafra, I mean, name it, we have a complete, I mean, this could add, if someone wants to do this in one trip, I doubt that someone, because you could spend at least 6 months in Egypt if you really want to cover everything. But bear in mind, we have a very rich history of Christianity.
Yes.
You know that
And the trip of the Holy Family has...
the trip of the Holy Family in Egypt. I mean, when he was told, when they were told where to go, they said flee to Egypt. They did not say flee to Rome.
Yes.
So they did not go...
When they wanted a safe haven, it was Egypt.
And they did not go to the Vatican, but they came to Egypt.
Yes.
Okay? And
very, very meaningful, very significant.
It's very interesting. And then the Pope of the Vatican, a couple of years ago, he announced and he said, you must go to visit Egypt and you must be in the place where they stepped foot and they were here and all of this. That's one thing. Monasteries. We have the 2 oldest monasteries in the world, St. Paul and St. Antonio on the Red Sea. And the stories behind those 2 monasteries is out of this world. Name it, we have a great Jewish history. We have a great Islamic history. If you visit the Mosque of Sultan Hassan or Ibn Tulun or the Castle of Saladin and the Mosque of Muhammad Ali, name it. Now we have Art d'Egypte that also it's a complete new thing led by an Egyptian lady who presents the art of Egypt in a very beautiful way, and she speaks about the art and the modern art of Egypt and the contemporary art and the old art. All of this, you're touching all taste of everybody. I've always had some clients who wants to go to the opera house. So we're very much hoping that very soon there'll be cooperation between the Minister of Culture, Her Excellency, and the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquity, so we can also promote the schedules of the opera when everything goes back to normal. Because why not? Why can't I, in the morning, be in the pyramid and the museum, and then I can go and visit the opera house and enjoy a show. Now there be a beautiful promenade throughout, from Helwan all the way to Anatir. People can dine everywhere. People could just go out and walk. This is completely...
Colorful. So your day in Egypt could be very colorful. It's not only the activity by day, but also at night, the amusement that you're talking about.
Can I tell you, share a personal thing? Yesterday, I went to visit a dentist, and I was so shocked to see foreigners at the dentist clinic. So immediately, you know me, I immediately get engaged, and we were talking, and I discovered they're not, I mean, they're related to expats, but guess what? It didn't happen that they had toothaches. No, they're traveling. That's a different type of tourism, by the way. They're traveling particularly to come and do issues with their teeth here in Egypt because it is very advanced. I was shocked yesterday to hear this from them. They said the most advanced technology in implant and all of this is in Egypt, and it is the most hygiene they've seen. Price-wise, they said it is not the price of one tooth, and so that is also adding that people started to come to Egypt to have medical issues in Egypt. And you know, good for the doctors, the Egyptian doctors, who really have, because they're adding to the tourists and to my country, because people are not going to just come and do their teeth in Egypt, but they're going to visit the Egyptian Museum. And
definitely, they're going to have a whole plan, and promoting domestic tourism actually is very important. Raising the touristic and the archaeological awareness among Egyptians is a very important message. And as we know that those domestic trips also help enhance this level of awareness and also enhance the sense of loyalty and belonging to the country. The initiative that has been under the auspices of the Ministry of Tourism, Know Your Country. Know your country, it's very important to know your country, to know the beauty of your country. to visit the different destinations, even sometimes virtually, until you would go by yourself later on. And the Nile TV International is supporting the Ministry of Tourism initiative, Know Your Country and Explore Your Country, through a series that we aired here, Explore Egypt. And tonight our exploration is to Bahariya Oasis. It's another experience, another marvelous experience, the white desert out of the world, out of this world. Let's watch together the small promo that reflects a lot of beauty by our talented Amr Mahmoud. How beautiful is the mood and is the experience.
The experience and the footage, I must compliment you. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Great work. Yes. And people would die for the sunset.
Yes.
Either sunset or sunrise.
Setup that is unparalleled. They won't see in other parts of the world except in Egypt.
Well, this is beautiful. I mean, even as Egyptians, and you know, in general, today, what kept tourism going is our great support that we always have from the Egyptian people, who started to go on the cruise ships again because they feel it is their duty to stand with their fellow Egyptians and keep it going. So they have done the Nile cruise. They stayed at the hotels, whether in Luxor or in Aswan. I'm talking about the culture tourism. I did not talk about the beach tourism, because this is happening. And Egypt is adding a new thing now. It's no longer just on the Red Sea. Now the Mediterranean, and soon El Alamein will be hosting. That's a complete add up as well, because tourists and Arabs. I mean, tourists and Arabs. Arabs, they consider Egypt as the second home, and there's a large number of them that they bought homes. They're not renting. They bought homes in El Alamein because you gave them the highest standard with the most advanced services and everything, and they can tell and they can see. I know that you know, in Sokna there is some royal families from the whole Gulf buying. They're buying to come and have that's their own home, to have a peace of mind. I mean, just sitting and watching. When you sit, whether you're sitting up high or down by the sea or anything, the view is just out of this world. And especially around 5 o'clock, 5-ish, 5:30, you start to see the dolphins when the water gets warm. They go up and down. It is a natural show that you watch, and it's beautiful. So yes, as I said, Egypt, the diversity, and yes, I saw in the promo you were showing the oasis and the desert, but still you're showing the Egyptian monuments because it's everywhere.
Yes.
There is always Egyptian monuments wherever you go, all over Egypt. There is.
And that's the secret, you know, an open air museum.
Open air museum everywhere. And when you go to Fayoum, and then you see the valley of where it used to be Wales, in the middle of the desert.
Wadi al-Hitan.
Can you imagine? When you see the dinosaurs. So we have everything. We can cater, that's the word that I was looking for, we can cater every, airports in Egypt today, even with what's going on, you can get the test of COVID through the labs of the Egyptian government within 3 hours. Not only this, they made it as ease that tourists, the doctors will go and visit them in their hotels in the evening and or late in the afternoon or something, not to ruin the day for them. So there is an understanding of the value of tourism. And in November, I believe in November, when I saw His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Egypt, when he went with His Excellency, Dr. Khaled Al-Anani, the Minister of Tourism and Antiquity, and then he got on the rope on the bucket and he went down, I think, 14 or 15 meters deep shaft on a new discovery. He was going to be the first one when the first camera ever been to show an Egyptian civilization just been discovered. That shows that where the government is thinking towards tourism now and paying all the attention to facilitate things and make things easier and everything. Recently I was watching also a promo for the police academy, and I saw women in act that, you know, young ladies today, they say, we want to join the police academy because they're showing it in a different shape and very modernized and very interesting, and they're everywhere. And every day I can see Egypt is in progress. I was watching the other day a parliamentarian in Tunisia, and he said a statement. He said, we want someone like President Sisi to come and rebuild Tunisia. It's available on YouTube, and it's very interesting to see that now we become a model. Bear in mind, we were able to do the first international event, sports event, and everybody said, we will follow the Egyptian. This is what I love. They say, we will follow
the Egyptian model.
The Egyptian model. Can you imagine? Japan said, if it works in Egypt, we're going to take it. And there is another country, they took it for soccer, and they followed what we did exactly. So, and then we did, I think, the skating for shooting with rifles. And there is a few international events are coming. Egypt has the lead in it. So thanks to my government that we did not stay at home, thanks that we're still trying, thanks that we have a hope, thanks that we are optimistic, thanks to everyone who's trying to do something. Thanks to, when I drive by the highways and see the amount of work that it's done in my country 24/7.
Yes, thanks for all those who are working with passion to serve this country and to make our lives better. Indicators for the Egyptian tourism are very promising indeed and demonstrate that Egypt is on the right track to tourism recovery. We'll be talking about also how 2021 is going to be witnessing more of international tours, a comeback in international tourism. This is also very good news because we are used that you would tell us also some good news on the show. So we want some good news concerning the comeback of international tourism. A short break with Helwa Ya Baladi, our country, my country is beautiful. Let's watch. Egypt remains beautiful and definitely opening up for the whole world to come and visit and enjoy the beauty and the world heritage here in our beloved country. I thank you so much, Mr. Waleed Battoty, Counselor to the Minister of Tourism, for always bringing about the positive vibes and the good news. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you for hosting me, and I always love to come to this building and love to come to your show, because also you give me and you boost my energy. And I will always say to all Egyptians, stand with your country. We need your support. We need to promote. Everyone has a duty towards this country. This country has given us a lot. And I want to thank everybody in this channel and Nile TV International for the great work that you do for my country and for my field and for the future of this country. As I told you many times before, Nile TV International is completely with a different shape and face and everything. So you made it my special. I mean, not all the time that I'm in it, but I'm all the time watching it. At home, it is
great news.
Yes.
Keep up the positive vibes. Thank you for the moral boost. Thank you so much. I thank you, dear viewers, for joining Nile TV International. As always, I'm Tagharit Hussein. Many thanks for watching.